Alright, we are live for the podcast, everybody. So, everybody, how y'all doing? If you guys are over on Spotify, hello. If you guys are on YouTube for the YouTube version of this, also hello. On tonight's podcast, it is time for me specifically, might have people hopping on, you never know, to discuss Destiny 2 and its current pathway for its guide. It's unscripted, so bear with me on this. Its current Destiny 2 and its current path dealing with how the game is going. Especially considering where we've gone, where we've came from so far. With the event that happened on Saturday that I missed, I'm sad about that. I am very sad about that. But unfortunately, you can't hold it against me too much. Well, actually, yeah, you can. My bad. But regardless how you look at it, with a live event that happened in Destiny 2 back when it first came out, it sparked excitement for how this game is going to lead. I know I'm excited for it. Everybody else is excited for it as well. Just dismantling my exotics, if you guys are wondering, because I'm also playing Destiny 2 because this is the last day in the season. And tomorrow, I will be live earlier, but regardless, that will be talked about on my social media platforms and stuff like that. But regardless, the current state of Destiny 2, well, I've talked about this previously. It's not in the best place it's ever been. I'm not going to deny that. Previous podcast, I went in depth for that. And that was and basically the current state is the same way. Stop popping your stuff, yes. Okay, I don't know what he's doing, but whatever. But regardless, how you look at it, state of Destiny 2 right now is in that what could be classed as the content slump for some people in their eyes. For others, they haven't played, which is fine. Nobody's gonna force anybody to play it. Don't mind me. Buy one of those. But regardless, how you look at it, Destiny 2 right now is in a slump. But with the event that happened on Saturday, as I said, which I missed, but regardless, the event that happened on Saturday sparked a new variant of hope in the game. For those on YouTube, you guys are seeing where the Almighty came down, which was the event on Saturday. Had I have known... Hey, Ben, how you doing, buddy? Had I have known that Destiny 2 would have had that event on an earlier occasion, I would have been stopping by earlier instead of playing Terraria. I would have been like, oh shit, there's an event this weekend. I'm gonna check it out. But I was a butthead and that didn't happen. So, the current state of Destiny 2, as I've talked about before, is the state of Destiny 2. But as I said, the event that happened over the weekend was hope for the future. And there's a song that is secretly in this game, if you didn't know, that actually says hope for the future. But Arc champion Nightfall.
Just a second, Guardian. Okay, you're clear.
Nice. Very nice, man. Very nice.
Remain vigilant, Guardian.
But right now we are looking at something that has opened up the minds of many of us, i.e., an event that happened that we were not expecting, and we are excited about that because this game basically needed that jump start to hype it up a little bit. It's not much of a hype, but it is enough to boost people's confidence and say, if this is what we're going to see every season, might bring people into the game more, which would be fantastic. So yeah, for those who are on Spotify, I am playing a game. I will be reiterating that a few times throughout the podcast. Might get annoying. But either way, something like that
This war
is an amazing thing to have. Because it opens up a world of possibilities for everybody to look in and say, I'm excited to see where this is going to go. Let's see where it goes. Or it'll hype up people and say, this is happening? It basically put it on the front page on Twitter. I know that for a fact. That was a topic that was all over Twitter for a while on Saturday because that's what happened. It basically overtook Fortnite in the event because it was actually so anticipated. Everybody knew it was going to happen, but we thought it was going to be a cutscene that was going to happen. And we were proven wrong. We thought it was going to be a big old cutscene. We were going to be going in and be like, okay, we got to deal with this guy, yada, yada, yada. Only to come around and say, this is a live event. This is something to keep an eye on, and we'll be looking forward to in the future. It was a success in my eyes, even though it wasn't exactly what you call well planned out in the minds of us, anyway, us people. In Bungie's eyes, it was a fantastic idea, and it was planned well in advance. If they're gonna do even more of these in the future, which they probably will. And of course, I have my friend. Sorry, my internet was playing stupid on me there for a moment. My thing said, "Hey, guess what? We're gonna freeze you there for a second." But regardless, looking at how the game has grown, and looking at the fact that there's live events in the game, has definitely sparked some interest in the game that wasn't really there to begin with, or was MIA, or missing in action that some people had, or they just got bored of it for a while. Everybody got bored of Destiny for quite a while, and which is a good thing. It means that Bungie can look at everything and say, okay, how are we going to bring these people back? Bringing an event like that sparked interest in Destiny. Big interest. And that interest was like, well, now. It definitely sparked a lot of people's interest, and everybody was excited about it. I know I'm happy to say, Bungie, if you guys listen to this, keep the events coming. Everybody loves those events. Now, with that being said, was there things that could have been made better for it? Of course. The one major thing is the timing of it. They could have planned it out better, so that way they could be like, okay, we're gonna put a notification out a week in advance. It gives everybody time to prepare. You don't have to reveal that there's going to be a live event at the end of the season, at the beginning of a season. That would be stupid. But just a little early warning notification saying, be warned, there might be something. You might see something surprising in store on ... day at ... time. That would spark some serious interest, and people would actually plan it ahead. Planning ahead would definitely make the event better. Because then people would be like, okay, now I can plan for this, knowing that this is going to be the time it's going to happen, and go from there. With that said, it was definitely still interesting regardless, even though as I said, I freaking missed it. but it is still interesting to see where things are going. So as it's improv, so bear with me on this, so there's no anything about that. But seeing something like that will definitely pique interest for many people to come back to the game, even if it's on the last weekend of Destiny 2. Seeing an event that leads to the next season, the way Fortnite did, will definitely spark some serious interest in Destiny and massively benefit the game.
Guardian, I'm making the elimination of Cargill your priority of this operation.
Sparking the interest in this game will cause a lot of people to come in and say, hey, guess what? I'm playing this game, and I'm proud to play this game. Instead of some people, not me, or many content creators, but some people will say, oh, this game is trash, yada, yada, yada. Where having an event at the end of the season like this sparks interest in those people. Even if they don't like the game, they want to see it. It was the same way with Fortnite. I don't know about any other game. There's probably many. I don't know about any other game that does have it. But there are probably many games out there that have an event at the end of a season that leads to the beginning of the new season. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, that's that portion. Saying timing is definitely planning ahead will definitely make it more interesting to see the game grow bigger, especially for stuff like that. So just kind of plan ahead, guys. And I'm dead. But plan ahead. Plan to say, hey, guess what, guys? We're gonna be saying, hey, guess what? This is when this event is gonna happen. Or without revealing too much, just say this is what is gonna happen. Well, no, sorry. This may have, if you come on into this location at this time of the year, at this time of the day, in Destiny, you may see something intriguing, which will attract a lot of people's attention. They'll plan ahead and be like, okay, let's take a look. I want to see what's going to happen. With that as a base point, having something planned ahead will make the world of good for many people to watch. And they will all be there and say, I want to see what this event is, and we're going to go from there. That's all you have to reveal is when you plan on putting the event out and saying, this is when it's going to happen. And this is the location. Go see what may happen. With that said, what else could make an event like that better? Well, as you know, I've said the timing is definitely one, and putting something involved into that event. Make it a spectacle. Tie it in with a piece of loot. Not a piece of loot. But maybe add a little flair to it and make it seem like it's actually going to be going on for an hour, 2 hours instead of a couple of minutes. Because that kind of sucked. If get like some spectacular event that'll change throughout the entire time that it's on. Because this game is the perfect game to make spectacles, and being live in the event when the spectacle happens would make the game people go, holy shit, this is what we wanted, or make them go, what? This just happened? What's going on? I mean, look at the event, the one event in Fortnite. The event that basically sucked everything into a black hole for a long period of time. That was a spectacle because people were like, "What's going on? What is happening? I don't know what's going on. What the hell's going on here?" And people were trying to figure things out. Something along those lines, where it makes us think, makes us go, what's going on? What's happening? Something like that would definitely bring a lot of people back because they'd be hyped in the moment. And yes, being hyped in the moment would benefit the game massively. Just say, what's going on here? Why are we? Because Destiny would benefit greatly from having events like that spark hype, especially if you can access the area that the event went to. I'd love to go check out where the crash site of the Almighty. See what you can get out of it and see if there's any stragglers that you can take down, but unfortunately at this time it's looking like we can't. But I'd love to go check it out and see what's going on in there. It'd be a fantastic, and that guy's dead. It'd be a fantastic thing to see. I would be excited for that. Because that means that, hey, there's something involved behind it instead of just a little emblem you get from the little crash site. A little piece of rubble off of the tower. Which is a nice aesthetic change, I'll give it that. It's a nice aesthetic change, but at the same time, it does need a little more than that, in my opinion. The keyword is my opinion. My podcast is unscripted and opinionated. So there is no statistical fact involved, yada yada yada. Because everybody's got an opinion, and there's no point in saying that it's meant to be taken as fact. Now, so those are the two main things that I would personally say would make an event like that great. Because it was a massive spectacle, that live event, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful event. Bungie, you did a fantastic job on that event. I will say that right off the bat. With that said, could it have been made a little bit better? Yeah, every event has moments like that, but you know what? The event was beautiful. The event was perfect. Just needed the timing worked out, and sorry, not the timing, more the notifying everybody moment and tying in something to keep our attention and allow us to see the involvement in the handiwork. Personally, you guys did a fantastic job regardless. I hope that this event was definitely something you learned something good from, because it was definitely beneficial thing for you. And I'd love to see what you guys do for more content in the future. Especially event-based like that. Okay, I gotta close my mixer, my audio mixer. Now that the event's out of the way, that's the event. That's not the only thing I want to see for the future, which is the next season and next big expansion like Shadowkeep or Taken King or whatever. The future. Well, this one I'm gonna actually have to pull up the Bungie, the TWAB for. So I have to kill this guy to do so. Wow, this is the fastest time I've cleared this one. But either way. Ooh, curated long but goodbye. Sweet. But yeah, as I said, I'm going to be pulling up the TWAB for this, because I want to... It's my turn to look up the TWAB and start talking about it. But the sandbox and everything is changing for sure. So it needs to be discussed to be involved in the future. And I got flippin' Gemini Jesters. Alright, time to pull up the TWAB. Alrighty. The TWAB. No, that's not. Alright, sorry guys. Alright, Bungie.net. Pull that up. Sign in. Do. Alright, time to sign in. And you guys don't see that, so haha, suckers. Don't save that, I can sign that in every time. Key. Didn't prepare fully for this, but, you know, I wasn't expecting to pull up the TWAB and having to sign in, you know? Okay, better bookmark that. There we go. Alright, time to look at the TWAB from last Thursday. So, this week at Bungie, going through the Black Lives Matter thing, that's not what I want to discuss tonight. Which is a good cause, don't get me wrong. But it's just not what the topic I'm discussing tonight. So we'll just kind of go from there, because that's not the top. As I said, that's not the topic I'm talking about. It's an important topic, but it's not the topic I'm talking about. So before anybody gets freaked out about it, it's not anything to do with you guys. It's just not the topic I'm talking. That's a whole other topic that doesn't involve what I'm talking about right now. So anyway, the TWAB for the preview, yeah, everything along those lines. We're going to talk about the Eververse, legendary ornaments, and everything along those lines, because that's important. Okay, so we're going to start with Destiny 2 Update 2.9.0 will become available next week, meaning that we have a pile of patch notes to get through. And that patch notes are very important for every sandbox out there. So we're going to... That's my words, not the actual words. If you ever get the chance to look up the Bungie... This week at Bungie, check it out. It's good reads every time. So let's take a quick moment to look at some of the changes. The big one that I see here, well, big one for purchasing issues anyways, Eververse. A few twabs back, we talked about the future of Eververse and how we're making changes to some reward structures to better balance gameplay rewards with Eververse content. The season of Redacted, we don't know what it's going to be called. We think it's going to be called Arrival, but regardless, will contain a few introductory changes, with more shifts coming in season 12, which is not the season coming up. It's the next season after that. The following changes will become available next week. Legendary armor ornaments. As noted in a previous TWAB, we have shifted the Season 11 armor offering to be a gameplay reward for aspirational content. Love that idea. I would love to see some. And it's happening. Getting armor ornaments from gameplay will improve the game overall, because that means you got something to chase. Even if it's just an ornament for your armor, I don't care. It's stuff to chase. Fantastic idea. Beautiful idea. The next point, Season of Opulence Intrepid ornament sets are returning to the storefront. Okay. That could be taken how you want it, but that's regardless. We're going to see how that one will go. That starts tomorrow. Season Pass. Added an additional 2,300 bright dust to the Season Pass. Fantastic idea. Very fantastic idea. Having that extra bright dust is going to make people go to the Eververse more often with their bright dust and purchase things from the store with bright dust. Fantastic idea. Bright dust purchases added a flare section to feature shaders and spawn effects. Another good idea, because it'll add a section for things like that, and I love it. I would love to just be able to purchase spawn effects and shaders like that just separate from everything, because that would be a great idea, and it's already happening. Highly requested items from previous seasons will once again be available. We're looking at you, Wishes of Sorrow. Speaking of which, yeah, Wishes of Sorrow. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that. I think Wishes of Sorrow is a weapon skin. I don't remember. We will once again communicate Season 11 silver-only items at the beginning of the season. We'll find that out tomorrow. I will be live early enough to be watching this, streaming it live. I will be streaming the thing tomorrow, so we're going to check that out tomorrow. We're expecting to have an update later in the season, in Season 11, on further changes to Bright Dust acquisition, so keep your eyes peeled. Thank you, Bungie. I will definitely be doing so. And now we're on to the actual sandbox of the game. So that's gameplay, that's going out in the field, or PvP, everything. Everything that is the action of the game. The Powerful Friends armor mod will no longer stack. If multiple copies of this mod are equipped, the mods will provide no bonus stats. I don't use that often. I'm a hunter, and I don't use that often. I at all, actually. But the stat bonuses do become pretty massive for a lot of people to use. So having it not stack, that's kind of a good idea. It saves a lot of issues, but at the same time, some people would probably complain, but what, these things happen. It comes with the territory. Developer commentary. Only solar seasonal mods are intended to stack. No part of Arc mods are intended to have a stacking functionality. That's news to me. I didn't pay much attention to the entire thing because most people were just covering the basics. Powerful Friends granted plus 20 to mobility, which players could leverage to get 3 stat columns to the max of 100 points. The mod is not priced sufficiently to justify its benefits, and increasing its cost would have adverse effects on its primary benefit usage. Which makes sense. Think I got powerful friends, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. Let me take a look. Actually, go to collections for that. Mods. I think it'd probably be in legs or class, or I'll take a look in general. I still gotta get enhanced ashes to add sets, but you know, I'll get that eventually. Nope. Do I have it? Powerful friends. Do I have powerful friends? Another thing, this is just my personal opinion. Alphabetize these things, make my life easier. So I'll have to get. I don't have that mod, but okay. Anyway, carry on. Season 11 introduces a new arc mod granting a similar stat bonus to strength and will not stack. Cool. That sounds good. Shit. Enhanced auto rifle loader, enhanced fusion rifle loader, and enhanced bow loader mods are now have a chance to drop from Pinnacle mod sources. Mint. Anyway, now a fairly important one. The following raid exotics have now increased drop chances. 1,000 Voices, Anarchy, Always on Time, the exotic sparrow from the Scourge of the Past raid. Note, the drop chance begins at 10% and increases to a max of 50% over 20 clears. Beautiful idea. People want to get those weapons very easily on their own, and they want to have those weapons in their collections. And before anybody asks, if for those who haven't been paying attention, Teraba is on that list too, so they've already mentioned that earlier. But having that increasing chance, the more you clear, will do better. Additional master, and now we're on to trials. But yeah, the raid one, it'll definitely make me want to do it more because the chances of getting it have increased, regardless how you look at it. So, thank you, Bungie. Trials. Alrighty, I apologize, everybody. Additional masterwork material trials rewards. Additional masterwork material rewards now drop at 3, 5, and 7 trials wins. Beautiful. Additional trials weekly bounty. Added a trials weekly bounty which unlocks trials engrams on Saint 14. Perfect. The bounty reward will match the Win 3 milestone reward of the week. Beautiful. Trials tokens distribution has been rebalanced to focus on wins 3, 5, and 7 of a Trials passage. Okay. That sounds intriguing. Gonna have to take a look there this weekend for that. This includes repeat passages, so that means you won't get tokens on the 1st, 2nd, 4th, or 6th wins. Perfect. Might force people to actually go the distance. Trials tokens are no longer awarded for match completions. Yes. It's not quite there, but that helps with people. That helps for us, for a lot of people. Tokens are now granted specifically through wins and bounties. That is a positive. Passage of Wealth now doubles the bonus trials tokens earned at 3, 5, and 7 trials wins. Alright. It doesn't talk about all the rampant cheating, but that's fine. They could discuss that on a future time. And I hope that they do, because rampant cheating on PC, mostly on PC, because we really don't... PC guys are not happy with it, because of the rampant cheaters. On console, it's less known, because, you know, where you only get DDoS attacks instead of everything else on top of that. But we'll find out a lot more tomorrow, because they'll definitely be talking about that regardless. But anyway, that's off of the trials. And then we go on to the next section, which is mixing a green thumb with a bumper jumper. So we heard you like patch note previews. They're short, sweet, and to the point. This topic, though, needs a bit more time to go through. Today's staff designer Lisa Brown takes center stage to walk us through the upcoming controller remapping feature that the team has been working on. It's a step in the right direction. It's going to be useful for the rest of us. Greetings, Guardians. I'm Lisa, a staff designer on the Sandbox team here at Bungie, and I'm going to give an overview of the controller remapping feature for gameplay actions that will be coming to Destiny for all players in the season of Redacted. Although we have controller presets in Destiny, these aren't enough to meet basic accessibility needs, guidelines for motor control and mobility. We've been working on some amazing accessibility consultants to create, they talk about the people, to create support for remapping buttons on the controller. Here I'll give you an overview of how to use the feature, what it can and can't do, and share some setups for Bungie employees. Example. Quick note, all the below examples shown are on Xbox button layouts. Not going there. Overview. Players can create a custom controller layout by going to the controller section of the settings screen and choosing a button layout. A custom option is available in the list. I see that, yeah. On this screen, you'll be able to customize mappings for gameplay actions on your character in vehicles and in general settings like emotes and interacting with prompts. Fucking nice. If you're like me and typically use a preset other than default, you can use the reset button to start from one of those. I probably won't change any buttons, but this is still going to be a win for the controller guys. It just goes into description on how to do it. Verbs. One of the challenges with the controller remapping is that we have a lot of player verbs. Think of verbs as actions. Throw a grenade, trigger your super, jumping, sprinting, sliding, etc. With PC remapping, there's a whole keyboard at your disposal. On the controller, though, there's only so many buttons. To solve this, we allow a player to map an action not just to a button, but also a type of input. Our 3 supported input types are press, long press, and double press. Okay. Pressing the button twice in succession to initiate the action. For example, dodging for hunters. As an example, some of our exotic weapons, Borealis, Symmetry, Hardlight, etc., have an alternate weapon action which has typically been activated by holding the reload button. Now this can be mapped separately to a different button or different input. For example, I like to change it from long press X to double press X, which is on Xbox. Be square on PS4. Now, when I want to switch to Symmetry's firing mode, I double press the button. For double press input, you can also increase the amount of time between button presses for it to register as a double press. This option, okay, well, that's going in depth. That's going right in depth. This is gonna be good. In addition to mapping to the individual button, we also support mapping to chords, meaning two buttons pressed simultaneously in the default. In the default layout, press the left and right bumpers together to execute your super is an example of a chord. That actually makes sense to me. Here's an example, a custom layout example where a player has mapped some basic controller options. There goes fire, reload, press A and X, long press A and X for ultimate fire. Okay, constraints and caveats. Although this feature is a step towards greater mobility access in Destiny, it is still limited in what it can do. For example, the controller remapping feature is limited to gameplay actions, not UI input or menu navigation. Makes sense. Motor accessibility challenges are one motor accessibility challenge are inputs that require the player to hold down a button. We have options to switch between holds and toggles for some of our actions, zoom, sprint, and crouch, but we're not able to address all cases. Example, weapon firing, class jump ability, charge, and it's drawing a bow, etc. We've opted for flexibility in allowing players to map any action to... This is going to be handy for me. I'm going to probably be switching a few things around here. A few minor things. Our chord support is simultaneous. Press button to Bungie examples. Yeah, already. Don't need to worry about jumping the examples. Last call, and then we go into the last call. And then it just discusses closing out the season worthy. But regardless, so far, I'm excited. I'm not hyped. I'm excited for the future. We're going to see where things go, see how things end up coming, and we're going to see what happens. So far, they're definitely working on something for sure. It's interesting to see what they are currently working on. It's not quite 100%, but they are working on it. And I'm excited to see where things go. It's one of those catch-22 things. We'll see how things go. We're going to see what happens. But regardless, it's been an enjoyable route up the way here, even with the rough patches that has happened. And I'm excited to see where things go for Destiny in the future. I'm going to be completely honest. It could go both ways. Could become the best thing that ever happened. Could end up being what we wanted eventually at some point. But it could go the other way. You never know. So it's better to remain in a central point so you can sit there and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be able to adjust, see where things go. If it goes this way, great. If it goes that way, well, we got things to work on to get it back to at least somewhere around a good, decent place. But yeah, that's what happens. Unfortunately, you can't control everything, and we're going to find out what happens tomorrow. So yeah. As I said, the podcast is done. Tomorrow I will be checking out the Bungie podcast, the Bungie cast live. I will be streaming it live on my channel, and I will be playing Destiny 2 tomorrow because tomorrow's the new season, and I will check it out. So my podcast is over, and I will carry on playing video games tonight. So everybody on Spotify, thank you all once again. And everybody on YouTube, thank you all once again as well. And you guys have a wonderful night.